Transition is hard, right? We transition from apartment to house, place to place, job to job, relationship to relationship, from time to time, through traffic. I mean, transition is just everywhere. So today on the Nicole Crank Show, we're gonna be talking about transition. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of something? I mean, you're not where you used to be, but you're not where you wanna be. So where in the world are we? I know. Well, you don't know where you're going, but you're not sure how to get there, but you know you can't go back. Well, today we're gonna talk about transitions. What to do when you've left one thing behind and you're finding your place in the new thing. We are gonna talk about challenges, but we're gonna bring that pain to the promise, and we're gonna talk about some of the gifts and benefits of transition too. Y'all, I have a friend, her name is Delynn Rizzo. She is a wife, she is a mother, she is a coach to pastors, she is a church planter, she is a leader. She's proper Southern, and we're gonna have some tea, and she is gonna share some stories of transition. What she's done to push through the discomfort and to thrive on the other side. Also, God sees you in the middle. He has a plan, and even though you can't see it, He saw it before you were even born. So don't sweat it, okay? You're gonna be okay. You're not where you wanna be, but we're not where we used to be. Our footsteps are ordered by the Lord. So just keep stepping. He's gonna guide you to exactly where you're supposed to be. Before we get started, I want you to subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel. You're not on the YouTube channel. What are you doing not on the YouTube channel? Get on the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so we just pop in your inbox once a week. It makes it so easy. And then you can share this message with your friends. Are you ready? We're taking you through the pain to the promise in a real, raw, and organic way. Let's go. Sometimes what seems like the end is really the beginning. I'm gonna take you behind the curtain of my life, and my friends are gonna tell their stories too. I thought my life was over when I got molested as a child. Then I got pregnant at 17, and my drug addict ex-husband held a gun to my head. But only God could give me the life that I have today, and you can have that too. We're going from the pain to the promise in a real, raw, and organic way. Are you ready? Let's go.
Rapid fire questions with Delynn Rizzo. 3 words to describe yourself.
OCD, a little bit perfectionist, sweet, I hope.
Hobbies.
I love to cook, I love to shop, I love to hang out with friends, go to church.
Stupid human tricks.
I can do this. That's amazing talent.
Rapid fire questions complete.
So that's what we're gonna do today. We're talking about transitions. We're talking about getting into life and out of life and the things that happen, and kids and jobs and states and houses and moves and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And this is my friend Delynn Rizzo.
Hey.
And I love you for a million reasons. You and your husband lead ARC, which how many churches has ARC planted now?
1,077.
Yeah,
like I can't even believe that.
They're slackers.
Well, it's not us, for
But
sure.
Y'all lead ARC. You've kind of done all the things, but my favorite thing about you, oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up already,
Oh,
is how you have embraced my daughter,
oh.
because you're also a vocalist, worshiper, worship leader. And at the ARC conferences, you've invited Ashton in.
Oh,
You have heart.
easy.
That takes a lot of trust, and I don't know. So I just want to start with thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I love being on a front row seat to watch her just flourish. And God's got big things for her, for sure.
That's one of the things I love about you, is that it seems like women have the reputation of either keeping each other down, right? Like you have to pull somebody down in order to have a spot.
Right.
But it's my opinion is there's plenty of room at the top. And so, if we give each other a hand, the more people will get there.
Totally.
And you seem to be that girl who's really okay with other women shining and bringing up that next generation, or bringing up other people and letting their gifts shine. what is your journey like? How did you get into ministry? Why are you unintimidated by women? Like, where did that start? 'Cause
Well, I went to Bible college and meet Dino. And it just is so funny. I never thought that he would want to be a pastor, you know, at a Bible college. I remember getting very serious and him saying one day, you know, can you be a pastor's wife? And I was like, yes, of course. Whatever God asked me to do, you know, I can do it. So we got married and, you know, just hit the ground running. Started off in youth ministry. Loved that, but we were very young and God pushed us into, I say pushed us in, he had to kind of push me into pastoring. Starting a church, I was 23 years old and he was 28. So didn't have a clue. So that's kind of a little bit of how I started out in ministry.
So you said that, because I guess your first transition was from being a girl who went to church to being a girl who led the church.
Totally.
My journey there is people ask me, how did you get into ministry? And my answer is God tricked me. Like he legit pulled a fast one on me. I remember what I now know was God calling me and I just didn't know what it was at the time.
Yes.
I remember leaving my mom's house one time and calling her when it was a flip phone. So this dates it, just do not judge me. It was a flip phone. But as I was leaving her house, I remember calling my mom and saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I just know in my heart, like I'm supposed to go to like high schools or speak to kids. I'm supposed to talk to people.
Yeah.
So I look back now and know that was the beginning of God stirring that in me. But then I married a guy who, when I first met him, I thought he was a drug dealer, so I wouldn't go out with him. Because like he didn't work normal hours. He worked weird hours. They had church at night, church on the weekends. Yeah. And his hair was longer. He was a worship leader. He was super passionate. I was like, this dude's a drug. I'm not going out with him.
I love it.
And he told me he was a worship leader, and I had to watch like some videotapes of him at church to believe him. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. I ended up marrying a worship leader of a small church. And I mean, his dad was a pastor, but it had nothing to do with me.
Wow.
And then it was a few years later, his dad went to heaven unexpectedly.
Oh.
And we were just like, how do we step up for the people? And I just found myself doing ministry before I knew I was doing ministry.
Totally.
And then I was in ministry and I was like, what'd you do? God, what did you do?
Right. Yes.
What was that transition like for you?
I feel like for me, you know, I can remember moments as a child growing up feeling that calling, but didn't know how to put into words like you're saying. But also like, I'm a little different. God has to push me out of my comfort zone. And he's used my husband a lot of times. I can remember, you know, I don't know if you'll remember this back in the 80s, you know, going from singing solos. That's all I ever did, to then leading worship. And we didn't have a worship leader. So he's like, you're going to have to do it. Had to be pushed into it. And so that's kind of my personality. Unless I feel very capable and that I'm going to do great at it, I don't really want to launch out. So he's always had to push me out of the boat. Yeah. And then he does the work along the way in my life. And then I start to enjoy it. But it's been a process. It has been a process. But that's kind of how my ministry journey has worked.
But then you guys pastored, but then you moved. You moved from Louisiana to Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes, we did.
That's a big transition in life.
It was a huge transition.
Different states, different churches. So talk about, as we're talking about transition, people, am I called to ministry? Am I not? Am I supposed to take this job? Am I not?
Right.
How did you deal with that, handle that transition?
It was tough, very tough. You know, I was 42 years old, about 3 weeks away from turning 43.
You look 42 now.
Oh, no, you look 42. But we've been there almost 10 years. In a few weeks, it'll be 10 years. And I just thought I was gonna live my whole life in Baton Rouge. That's where I was from. That's where all my family lived, and we were close. So like we did everything together. My sister lived around the corner. My parents were at every ball game, everything. Okay, we did life together. My sister was on staff, my dad. So it was traumatic, to say the least. And I grieved for a while. And I felt like I didn't know who I was, for a long time. And I remember crying and having big old pity parties. Me and my youngest would just cry at night and think, we're gonna go back home one day. This is not gonna be forever.
Yeah.
It'll just be a year or so. We're gonna go back home.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I can't believe this is what God wants me to do, is to live somewhere else, not know anybody. I remember going to Walmart for the first time and just wanting to scream on the loudspeaker, I know people,
Yeah.
I know some people. I know I don't know y'all, but I know people. And it just felt so lonely, so just like, God, do you really know what you're doing here? And I just had to get to a place of surrender, of this is where God has me, so I've got to make the best of it. And I finally had to get sick of being sick and tired.
Transition is a thing.
Ooh, it's a thing.
It is so hard to not know who you are, where you are, who your people are.
Exactly.
I just want to share with you today, life is full of transition. Here's the one thing about life. Transition, another word for transition is change. So really we're talking about change, right? And here's something about change, is that the only thing about life that is guaranteed is that it will change.
Exactly.
Just about the time that you start feeling like, okay, here's the deal. I have 2 feet on the floor. I know where I'm going. I know my mission. I know my purpose. Here I go. God is sure to shake it up so that we don't live by our will and our ability, but we have to depend on His.
Totally.
So we're going to dive a little bit more into change and transition in 1 minute. Take a look at your life right now. Do you like where you're going? Are the people in your life helping you get to where you want to be? Have you ever heard 2 people talking at a lunch table and wished you could pull up a chair and just learn? This is your opportunity. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Studies have shown that you are the sum of the people that you hang out with. I mean, we all need people in our lives coaching us, teaching us, mentoring us, cheering us on, and making us into better people. And that is why I created the Circle of Friends. It's a chance for us to connect and increase the level that we live on. Here's what you get when you go to NicoleCrank.com/circle and become a partner. Every month we'll have live coaching sessions, workshops with Zoom calls between us where you get to ask questions, engage, learn. Or I'll bring on a guest influencer like Joel Osteen, Christine Kane, Mike Todd, Sarah Jakes Roberts. They'll share some of the most valuable lessons they've learned, just like you were sitting at that table. We've got a Best of Nicole library with a bunch of teachings, and best of all, you're not just a friend, you're a partner bathed in daily prayer, getting weekly emails. And your monthly contribution is a seed that helps us be on TV and provide books to prisons, recovery homes, and people who need them. If you're ready to get in a group of friends who will help you be all that God made you to be, and be a difference to others at the same time, this is it. For less than the cost of buying bubblegum, you can change the course of your life. Just go to NicoleCrank.com/circle and become a member today. Trust me, you'll be so glad you did. Just to be honest, I have a lot of clothes in my closet. I do, but it's not that I shop, and it's not that I shop that often, or it's not even that I buy that much. The biggest thing is I never get rid of anything. The problem is our thinking and life becomes like a closet. We want to hold on to everything, but then we don't have room for anything new. In order to have our hand open to what God wants to do with us, we have to let some things go. I can feel God pressing on my heart right now. I know it's tender to you. I know you don't want to let him go. I know you don't want to let that baby move out of your house. I know you don't want to let him go to college and grow up. I know you don't want to let him go to heaven and you weren't ready for him to go. I know you don't want to watch him walk away. You wanted the relationship to have a resolution. But I'm here to tell you that God works all things together for your good. I want to talk to you for a second about the 3 steps of acceptance. There's 3 things that most everybody goes through as they get used to a new idea, whether you're doing it in a meeting at work, whether you're rolling out some new policies, whether you're leaving, moving, or whatever it is. Acceptance, there's 3 things. Number one is, this is never gonna work. It's just the way the brain works. As soon as something is going to change, the brain is forced to think in a different way, and it doesn't like it. It throws up a red flag and says, not gonna happen. It's okay. Give yourself a minute. The second in the stages of acceptance is it costs too much. And you might be thinking, well, this transition isn't gonna cost me any money. The way the brain thinks about it is, it's gonna cost me too much time. It's gonna cost me too much emotional energy. Give yourself a minute. The third stage of acceptance is coming. The more you get used to the idea, the more they get used to the idea, they go from, it's not gonna work, to cost too much, to, I always knew that was gonna work. Give yourself some time. I have a whole teaching on change that I want to share with you that I did in my circle of friends, and I want you to have it. So we're going to put that on the screen for you right now. If you have change and transition going on in your life, I want to help coach you through it. I want to give you the ABCs of change, because I believe God connected us today to help you get to where He's called you to. It's going to take a little transition. It's going to take a little change, but it's going to be good. You said something about grieving transition. Now, did you do that on purpose, or is that something that just happened? Because it sounds like it was a little bit traumatic, but it also sounds like maybe it was healthy.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I definitely grieved what was.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't open my heart to now what is. It was like I just needed a little time to breathe. But then it was like, okay, it's been long enough. I've got to do something. What can I do? And I remember still not really knowing what it's going to look like, but saying, God, just let me encourage people. I know how it feels now.
Yeah.
More than ever. I've always had instant friendships.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be the one to reach out.
Yeah.
Just knew everybody forever. History.
Yes.
And I had to learn how to just not worry about my pride. Call people, hey, you want to have lunch? I invited myself to small groups.
Yeah.
I did. I remember one time Bella changing schools. She was going into the 8th grade. I see the volleyball team practicing, and I just march in there and talk to that coach. Hey, I've got a girl, she's starting in a month. Can she try out for the volleyball team? Because I knew she needed that group to make friends. So I think there was a grieving period, but then it's like I've got to celebrate other people. Yes, I'm hurting, and I have hurt, but it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And it's time to move forward and celebrate others and quit thinking about myself 24/7. If God laid people on my heart, I would send them an encouraging text.
Yeah.
I would just try to reach out to get, out of what all I was feeling too. And that I really think helped me so much to just embrace where I was at, surrender and know, God, this is where you have us. Use me. And however it is. And so whatever He put in my hand, I tried to do it.
Well, I think what I hear you saying is that your way out of your loneliness and fear and grieving was serving.
Totally. I love what Joyce Meyer says. She tries to serve someone every day. And I fail all the time. But if it's just a kind word, whatever it is, that I can serve and help somebody else and celebrate them, even though sometimes I wanted to be celebrated, but to celebrate them and to want their dreams to come true. It's been a transition to be on this side of pastoring. So it's almost like we pastor pastors now.
Yeah.
And we want their dreams to come true.
People transition jobs, spaces, places. I remember too, it's nothing like you guys moving states, because you guys move states and jobs and everything. But even when we would move houses,
Sure.
like I'm excited about my new house and my new adventure.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to
Right,
leave my
bittersweet.
memories and this place that was my home and
Totally.
just When I teach in my mastermind about leading through change, and one of the statements in the research is that people are more comfortable holding on to old problems than they are embracing new solutions. And I'm like, why does that ring so true with me?
Hey, all of us, yes.
Like, and you and I have both walked through one other transition lately, and that is kind of empty nesting.
Yes, a little bit, except we have our youngest back home.
Oh!
Okay, we were for about 9 months.
Okay.
It was awesome.
It was.
Awesome.
Help me with It's Awesome, because they just moved out like 2 months ago. Not even 2 months ago.
Oh, they were with y'all.
They were with us.
And the baby and everything. Oh, so fun.
So I'm trying to figure out It's Awesome. Help me with that transition is awesome.
Me and Dino just kind of just do what we wanted to do, and I could travel with him more.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those moms who, cried about it. I really didn't. I was like, I have been mothering these kids, and let me tell you, from having Austin too, it never stops, whether they're at your house or not. So you're really never truly an empty nester, because you're parenting till Jesus comes back. And adult kids are the hardest.
Oh, they are. Their problems are more complex, and they still have them. And they still
Exactly.
need you,
And
except for they don't need you.
Totally. Yes, that has been a whole new world of parenting adult kids.
So for people who are at home right now walking through empty nesting, moving, change of position, any kind of transition, it might even be maybe somebody in life has gone to heaven unexpectedly, or somebody walked out on the family, and those transitions are really hard. What would you say to them in their place of pain?
I would say, first off, you're a champion. You are a champion no matter how you feel. Maybe you feel stuck. You're an overcomer. You're a fighter. You are strong and you are capable. No matter what the enemy tells you, you can do this. You can do hard things. And God's going to give you the strength and the ability and the just fortitude, the perseverance to keep going. And I know the Lord told me when we moved to Birmingham, don't let the enemy win. Don't let the enemy win. You might think your best days are behind you, but they're not. Your best days are ahead of you. And everything the enemy has stolen, the Lord is going to replace it. I believe it. In Jesus' name, you can make it. Your family needs you. Keep fighting. Don't give up.
What's your dream? Does it seem impossible? What if I told you I have a simple 5-step plan that will help you make that dream a reality? Come on, I've spent far too many years of my life feeling stuck in my circumstances, being frustrated by another failed attempt to reach a goal. But when I researched and developed this elementary 5-step process, it changed my life. Now I'm literally living my dreams. I wrote the book Goal Getters because I want to help you live your dreams too. How? By reaching your goals. You can start achieving your goals today by visiting NicoleCrank.com/goals, and you can get my Goal Getters book. I've heard it said that a dream is a goal that never gets written down. But if you write down your dream, it becomes a goal. I want to show you how to write your goals in a way that's scientifically, psychologically, and biblically proven to help you achieve them. Together, we'll develop a vision plan, action steps, and goals that you can actually measure and assess. By following the steps in the book, I'll help you make a plan that will allow you to commit to accomplishing your goals. No more New Year's resolutions, no more failed plans, just attainable goals. So are you ready to change your life and become a goal getter? Go to NicoleCrank.com/goals today and get your copy of Goal Getters. Your dreams are calling. You can do this. You have what it takes. I'm here to tell you, I see it in you, and God sees it in you. I mean, I get it. Transitions are hard, right? They're scary for all of us because we leave something known for the unknown. But God is there, and He has more for you on the other side. You know, when I teach in my masterminds about time management, a lot of people are more comfortable in old problems than they are considering new solutions. And in time management, which requires some change. I know change can be scary, but I believe in you. You can do this. In Job, It says, although your former state was ordinary, your future will be extraordinary. Even though your beginning was small, your latter days will be very great. Hang in there. Hang in there. You got this. I mean, you by yourself, you don't got this. But you and God, you got this. Do you know there's an opportunity for you to help other people who might need encouragement, they might be in transition, to step out and to live the life that God has called them to? You know, the program, we don't get a paycheck, y'all. Ain't nobody paying us. We are living by faith, and we are thankful for our partners. And when you partner with the Nicole Crank Show, you help people find hope in Jesus all over the world. And by all over the world, I mean in Pakistan, I mean in Iran, I mean in Australia, I mean in the Philippines, I mean all over Africa, all over the UK, all over America, all over the world. And they Instagrammed me and they sent me a DM. Her name was Melania. And she said, I just wanted to thank you for sharing so honestly. Y'all, honesty is hard. Sharing so honestly and genuinely loving people. She says that we're touching lives. And God used us to bring healing in her life. She said she was so grateful for the way Jesus shines through this program. I say this every week and I mean it. People write to say thank you to us because, they say, Nicole, but I'm just a face that gets in front of the camera, right? And talks to my friends about Jesus and what he can do in their lives. But you are the ones who make it happen by your generous gifts. By donating at NicoleCrank.com/donate. And my friends who are in my circle of friends, you're making it possible to reach hundreds of thousands of people all over the world each week. If you want to check out the circle, I Zoom you once a month. I send you some emails. It's NicoleCrank.com/circle. I just want to say thank you. I couldn't do it without your generosity. I get to determine the vision, but all of you determine the speed of the vision. And thank you. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for donating. Thank you for giving.
So before we go, would you just look at that camera and just pray for him?
Father, I just thank you for every person that has been watching this program today with Nicole and I. God, I know you see right where they're at. You hear them. You care. Lord, your word says that our tears, you keep them in a bottle in heaven. God, let them know they're not alone today. They're not forgotten, that you are working on their behalf and they're going to make it through this to the other side. And one day they're going to hear from you. Well done, good and faithful servant. Keep fighting that good faith. Fight for your families. God can do it.
Yes.
Don't give up.
This is Delynn Rizzo, take one.
Perfect.
That was the one piece clap in the whole wide world.
We'll take it. A little more to your right. Okay.
Okay.